Welcome to InfoCard's podcast, sponsored by Vision One Golf. Hit it straighter, hit it farther. Putt like a maniac. VisionOneGolf.com. Now on with our show. Hi, I'm Peter Brusso, and I have Rex Seawright with me, the President CEO of Seawright Precast Concrete. How you doing, Rex?
I'm well today, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I got really excited, and I want you to talk to me about, we're going to bundle some products, so to speak, and go after the do-it-yourself market. And in that do-it-yourself market, I'm seeing, stuff you've already done, but the do-it-yourself market, people don't know about this. And so I want to talk about, maybe 5-10 minutes about what we could do. For example, and I'll kick it out right away, house flippers, for example. I was talking to a bunch of them yesterday, and, they take over a house and they want to flip it. Well, they're looking for easy, cosmetic, quick things that make them really sellable and desirable. And if they had a fireplace, what could precast concrete do with a fireplace?
What the precast will do, they may have an older house that has some tile surround on it, or maybe very little surround of any sort. If they're looking to turn the house over, my opinion is when you walk into the living room or the grand room, you want to see something that says, wow, that makes the room. And we have a variety of fireplace surrounds that fit in any room. You can, because they're module units, you can make a fireplace surround as large as you want to, as small as you want to. Some, of course, don't fit in certain areas. If you got a column that's 18 inches and you only have a 12-inch wall to work with, then no, that won't work, but there's always something you can build and create that room and totally redesign it just with a fireplace around.
Yeah, we have those literally all available without having to design anything too, right?
Yes. Well, the nice thing about them, they're modules, so if you have a larger wall and you want one of these little fireplaces that has a column on it and it's a smaller fireplace and you want to make it large, you have an extremely large room, then you add pieces, you build it up, you build it out, and you make the fireplace fit the room.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be a showcase for that and a real eye changer, if you wanted to flip that house. Having a really nice-looking fireplace in there could really do well for that. The other thing now, okay, so curbside appeal. What could we do? Could we do, since the precast concrete is pretty much like a veneer, you explained to me, is there stuff we could do on the outside of the house, the gates, the entryways?
Sure. There's, let's start with the gates. If they have a gate, they obviously have a pilaster, and it's a masonry column or concrete column of some sort that the gates are attached to. And if they're just plain stucco, they may dress that up with some rock and then put a precast cap on top of it. It can also be dressed up with precast. Not normally do they do that until they get into the very elite type places, so I would save that for the really elite homes. But a nice pilaster cup costs you $150. Put on top of there, really dresses up the entry. Then once you pass that and get into the front yard, they're going to dress up the landscaping. We have some precast pots that can go here and there, and they can use the pots for flowers. They can use the pots they have a hose laying out there. They want to hide the hose. We have smaller pots. You use as a hose corral. Then you get to maybe the front porch. Maybe it has 4x4 posts on it and needs cleaned up. We have columns that can veneer around these posts and dress up the entryway. Also have a variety of trims that can be placed on the fascia of the building and surround the window, put a larger window sill on it, window trims, door trims, things of that nature.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic because it doesn't cost a whole lot, but yet it really bumps that property up quite a bit, wouldn't you think?
It does. It makes a really nice curb appeal.
Right, and that's I think important for the flipping market or even the do-it-yourself market. What can they do inexpensively to really take that property up the next notch? I would even imagine most of these properties have been depressed and so need some fixing up. So veneers and precast concrete is just absolutely a natural in that market. Now, another question for you. I know we've got these in cement bowls that we could make into fire pits or even water features. You want to talk about that a bit?
We have the same bowls that we're using for landscape, and many people we have 48-inch bowls, 33-inch bowls, 24-inch bowls. The 33s are most common for a fire pit, and they'll put them out back, and they'll run gas to them, and they'll fill them up with either a base rock that they're just going to lava rock and then set the fire ring on top of it, or they'll fill them up with glass, sand, and create a fire pit, or they can use them as little waterfalls. They've adapted them to pools and cut out a little trench in them and put them up there where the water flows out of the planter into the pool. There's a lot of little things you can do with them.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, because you could really bump up a backyard pretty inexpensively with a fire pit like that, I would think.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought the do-it-yourself market might be very interested in is our columns. You know, you could put in columns and with a wood lattice on top and plants growing on that, make a really cool area, make a patio a usable area, particularly in the south here where it's so hot, that would be wonderful. Can you talk a little bit about how one might do that?
Well, usually it starts out with the renovation of the backyard, and they're going to, of course, they want to have to have a trellis, a shade structure, but it all starts out with they pour the foundation for the trellis, and they build the trellis in wood, and then we come in and we'll surround the wood post with columns, and they may put some vines up around it, and it grows up over top of it. There's many different endings to this trellis, may I say, that you can finish it off with, but that's a really nice one where they incorporate the ivy vines and the wood trellis and the concrete columns. Looks real nice.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Rex. And how does somebody who hears this particular podcast get a hold of you? What's your telephone number?
My phone number is 760-398-1515.
Okay, that's great. Coming at you on the web, so you can see us there, too. Thank you, Rex, for being with me and talking about the do-it-yourself market.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for calling me today, and it's a pleasure. As usual, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
All right, thank you now.